Welcome to week 14, going on to week 15. Another important stage of the project that I wanted to show you. Another important progress video. And because we're almost there, we're literally a couple weeks out. So before it's all done, I want to walk you through this stage, what to look for, what I'm paying attention to, which I think is really important. So as you can see, we've got from the last video where it was all plastered, now we've got the first, what we call mist coat paint on the walls. So the whole purpose of the first coat is to understand, once you've painted the walls, where then you'd still have rough edges. So as you can see here, the guys are going over patches that were still rough, and then you're then preparing it for its second and final coat. The other thing that's happened since the last video is we now have the architraves and doors that are on. And what I look for when the architraves are on is the gaps between the wall and also the architraves, or the wall and the skirting board. So for example, here, if I can get my finger between the architraves and the wall, that's too big. Now the guys have not finished here, but I'm just using this as a great example to show what you're looking for. Here, for example, no gaps between the wall and the skirting, and that's what you're looking for every single area where you have the woodwork and joinery done. So if I just go up here, for example, you're checking to see that my fingers can't go in any of the gaps, right? No gaps, right? No gaps, that's what you're looking for, especially with fire doors, because the whole purpose of a fire door is not to allow any smoke to go in either direction. So that's what you're looking for when you've, at this stage where you've got the doors and architraves on. In this room here, small things that I'm picking up on. Last video I spoke about how this double socket was in this area here. Small things, details, I need it to be here because the desk is going to be right here. So even though you can just plug it here and the wire will come across, make sure you have all your sockets as per what you've planned out. So that was something that the build team had to change, and all the other double sockets are where they should be, which is good. Another change since the last video, here we've got the rad now in, small but fits nicely by the bay window. And if I just come up here slowly, you can see how the copper piping comes out of the wall and then connected to the radiator. And if you look at some of my previous videos, that would be going across here, down, and then all the way up above. So that's how that's supplied, fitted and connected. And then in here, I think I showed you this, tiles are done to be completed. We're putting a sink basin in soon, toilet to be fitted, but the radiator is now in just above the toilet to maximize the space in the ensuite. Although you still have a lot of material from the build team, this is pretty much done. So once this all gets cleared, this is really just about now final coat, flooring, and then putting the furniture pieces in. So let's now move to the next part. So here, this is the communal hallway. We've got the radiator nicely positioned here. There was a conversation to have the radiator potentially along this wall here, but as you can see, it's not the widest hallway. So really important to understand where you're going to position all your radiators, because it does make a difference. So it being here comes nice flush against this wall as it comes out. So I think it's in a perfect position. Looking at, again, the skirting boards. So small gaps, but nothing to worry about. This can all be filled in. You're really looking for whether you can stick your fingers inside those gaps between the skirting boards and also architraves. So coming into the next bedroom, again, ready for flooring, final painting and furniture. Another point, in my last video when I was snagging, this double socket was not here. So I had to raise that with the build team to say that we have our TV double socket and aerial point, but we don't have one for the desk. So even though the plan gives the direction as to where everything needs to be, you still have to make sure that throughout the build, you're paying attention to all of these pieces that are being fitted. Radiator also now in, just underneath the window. Again, I think I'm really pleased with, because in this property we have really large windows. For some of the rooms, we're unable to put in a normal size radiator. So these are sort of fitting really well. And then coming into the ensuite, this is an ensuite which we've pinch spaced from the kitchen. Bit small, but we can make it work. 400 sink to go here, slightly smaller toilet, but it's perfectly fine. And then the radiator to go above here. And there's more than enough space to be able to get into the shower, in and out, use the sink, and also use the toilet. So I was a little bit sort of worried or concerned about the spacing in that ensuite, but with the right size sink basin and toilet, you know, it's totally fine. Yeah, all good. So you can see again, this is perfect. No gaps in the skirting board, and also against the wall. Right, now coming into the communal space. So we've got our door on underneath the stairs. There's nothing in there. Our tank is upstairs. This is the area here. Again, you're looking for things like this. This has been filled in to a point, just making sure that the guys will continue this. A lot of this stuff they already know, but I'm just raising it for the video to provide, you know, for education purposes. And then coming into, this is the communal kitchen space. Again, you're looking for making sure that you've got double sockets in place. So just a quick note as to why you've got a gap between the floor and also the plasterboard. Wherever you have concrete, ideally you want to have this before you apply your skirting board, because what you don't want over a period of time is for the plasterboard to potentially soak up any moisture or damp that may come from the concrete floor, which would then spoil the plasterboard. So what you'll notice is gaps wherever we have the concrete floor. And then I'll show you another room. All you pretty much do here is just apply your skirting board, and that's how you complete that job there. So coming into the back bedroom rear extension, ensuite here is a really, really good space. We're going to level out the floor in this area here. And then coming in, we've now got the rad to go in soon. If I just swing this camera around, gives you a good understanding of, again, the size of this bedroom back here. And yeah, almost ready to be completed. I'll just show you this area here, which shows you what I was talking about earlier, how you'd have a skirting board up against the wall once it's done, and then you've got that gap between the floor. So just small details to pay attention to when you're at this stage of the project. So let's go upstairs and I'll walk you through the next 3 bedrooms and how that is starting to look. We're literally about a couple of weeks out. Right, so here, stairs, we've got our banister in, which is very important. And I love the way that the guys have finished off with this sort of wooden piece here that goes right up the stairs on either side. Very, very nice finish. I think there's multiple ways that they could have done it, but this is a really cool way. And you can see how it finishes there. Coming into the next bedroom. So again, you can see really pretty much done. I know if you're new to development, you think, oh, there's so much more to do because you can still see tools and the flooring is not done. But those who are in development know that this is the final stages. We've got the rad in just at the end of the bed. Again, double sockets where they need to be. All of these things you want to continuously check as you're going through the project. And then here we have our second rad for this room, just underneath the window, perfectly fitted, and yeah, it looks really good. Really pleased with how these are coming out. And then kitchenette to go here. And then in this ensuite, we now have all 3 pieces. So we've got our shower unit here, then we've got our sink, and in the right space between the sink and the toilet. I know it may look as if this is a bit too close, but you'd rather have it positioned here as opposed to too close to the toilet. The other thing that I've noticed, and I'm probably gonna speak to the guys about that, yeah, that bangs. So probably gonna get like something just to put on the other side so it doesn't make so much of a noise. But yeah, all of the architraves are well done. No gaps. Good. Right, moving to the next room. Another rad installed in this communal space here. you can see the natural light coming from all the bedrooms and showing up in the communal hallway. So coming in here, again, another great sized room. We've got the toilet in here, right above for space, sink, and again, right space between the sink basin and also the toilet. One of the things I also do is check to make sure the shelves are also in good condition, right? So not to get, you want to make sure that every single thing is as per your expectations. And then kitchenette on this side. We've got, again, a rad underneath the window where we've positioned it and the bed to be here. So yeah, looks good. Really pleased with the progress. A couple of weeks out now, final rush. Banister going up towards the final bedroom. You can see how the guys have finished it off really well. So it's a very classy, professional finish. And then as we come up here, more of the same. So we've got the doors in, all the radiators now where they need to be. Double sockets where they should be positioned. And we are, yeah, just a couple of weeks out. So at this stage now, we've got the kitchen coming in. Then we're going to start finishing up. It will be, yeah, flooring, furniture to be fitted in soon. So a couple of weeks out. So that this will be the last update video before then I show you the final tour, which will be great. So stay tuned.